Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Jane. Welcome to your June 2025 tarot card reading. But before we get into the cards, I just wanted to make a very quick announcement letting y'all know that now that Saturn has officially moved into Aries, now he's conjunct Neptune. We also have Jupiter moving into Cancer this month too, as of June 9th. So if you're interested in getting an idea of how these transits are happening, how they're affecting your chart, the areas of life that will be affected, and really how to navigate these transits to kind of maximize your success with them. I do have a private reading option available for that. So all that information will be in the description box in the comment thread down below if you feel like checking it out. Now would be the perfect time to kind of get yourself prepared, especially for Jupiter in Cancer, which is his sign of exaltation, which is beautiful. So I look forward to that. So please feel free to do that. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and get into the cards. Hello Aquarius, and once again, welcome to your June 2025 tarot card reading. Now I already pulled this card out and I already got started, and then I had a little interruption. I had some cat drama. So I want to keep this card though because it did authentically come out for you. So we're going to start with this butterfly spirit card. It says transformation is beautiful. So Aquarius, the month of June is probably going to come with some conscious choices that you make to change your life. And it could be small ones, especially when we have Jupiter coming into the sixth house. Okay, Jupiter officially enters Cancer on June 9th. Now this is a really beautiful placement for Jupiter to be because this is his sign of exaltation. So it's beautiful, but it is going to accentuate the day-to-day. It's going to accentuate your habits. It's going to accentuate what you do for work, your daily life. And it's not always easy to have this moment of illumination that says, all right, this habit isn't serving me, and I have to change it in order to create the life that I want to live and to actually change it. But Jupiter, I think, is here to really support those efforts, Aquarius. It's here to support your desire to expand yourself, okay? So this transformation, like I say, it's conscious. You're very aware of it. I don't think this is like an undercurrent transformation that's going on deep below the surface. No, I think that you're saying, I want to be different. I want my life circumstances to be different. So I'm going to behave differently, and I'm going to do different things. And I'm going to learn new things, and I'm going to put myself in different rooms and have different kinds of conversations. And we're going to go from there. Okay, but the transformation really is going to be in the small things. It's going to be in the small realm. So you really do want to pay attention to how you act, how you behave on a moment-to-moment basis. Now, I'm not saying you have to be so hyper aware of yourself that you can't function, right? Okay, you can still live your life authentically and beautifully, but it's more about understanding how your choices snowball, how your choices create momentum, right? And to make sure that you are creating momentum in the right direction. I have a card that says inspiration, and I don't know, I have a feeling that now that this whole Mars-Pluto opposition, which was going on for months, since like last November, is done and over with. It's very, very far. It's been a while, okay? I'm not saying that this is new, right? But yes, that Mars-Pluto opposition thing is done. I think now you're really starting to feel the effects of it. You're starting to feel like what the whole point of that was. So all of the endings, all of the closure that you've experienced starting to open up new pathways. And I feel like June is going to be a deeply inspired month for Aquarius, especially because we have the sun in the fifth house for the first part of it. It just feels like maybe you're wanting to really express yourself, and maybe there are new ways, new creative ways for you to do that. Okay, and with this transformation energy, I think those things go hand in hand. Your desire to transform is going to inspire you, and the inspiration is going to help you to transform. So there's kind of a really nice collaboration that goes on there. So let's see what else comes through for you, Aquarius, starting with the tarot. We have the Hermit, we have the Emperor, and we have the Devil. Okay, so a lot of major arcana coming out for the first part of June. The introspective quality of the Hermit is probably really important, especially with this transformation card. Because it feels as though you are going to go deep inside yourself. You are going to do some deep soul searching. And the Hermit is not always easy, because I think we come to truths in these moments, right? We come to truths that are difficult to face, but it's the wisdom of the Hermit that accepts them, right? It's like, okay, well, we might be causing certain problems because we allow certain things, or we allow ourselves to get away with certain things, or we allow other people to get away with things. And there's a myriad of other things. That's just one example, right? But there's going to be certain truths that come out. And the Hermit takes that information and processes it and says, okay, well, how do I transmute this? How do I alchemize this? How do I turn this into something that's good, right? I think the Hermit is also that omen, I guess we could use that word, is the omen of application, or we apply the wisdom that we acquire. So the Hermit is not just sitting here questioning and searching. Once he finds an answer or a solution, he will immediately apply. And I look at the Emperor and I think, yes, Aquarius, you are certainly in this mode where you are ready and willing to apply new strategies, to try new things, to go new places. And there is a warrior-like spirit with that. It's a very quiet warrior, though. I don't know that anyone on the outside looking in would really see it, unless they know you really well, right? If they're close to you, they're a part of your inner circle, that kind of thing. But most people, most acquaintances, they won't see it. This is going to be one of those things where you make the change and then you say, look, I did it. It's not like I don't think you're going to sit here and say, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. It's like, no. You're going to do it all first, and then you're going to say, it's done. And people are going to be like, what? Like, where did that come from? I didn't even know you were working on that. I didn't even know you were doing that, Aquarius. What are you talking about? But I do think that you're just in this quiet warrior place. And you're looking at yourself, and you're looking at your obstacles, and you're looking at your fears, and you're looking at the things that have caused problems, right? This is what the Hermit does. He goes in, he looks and says, what's causing a problem? What's causing a blockage? Where's the issue? And you come up against aspects of yourself that you may not necessarily really like or be proud of. Some of those things are stubbornness, pride, insecurity, fear. Some people might be dealing with things like materialism or emotional attachment. There could be some kind of toxic relationship or something like that that's going on. But all of these are the things you're looking at and you're saying, okay, time for this to be overcome. Time for me to unchain myself, to unattach myself to these traits, to these things that are causing issues in my life, that have prevented my growth. And the warrior, absolutely, like the Emperor, is like, yep, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's rise above, because we want to be in command of ourselves. We do not want past trauma and things to be in command of us. So there's power here. Very quiet, subdued, beneath the surface. What else? What else does Aquarius need to know here? We have the Nine of Coins. We have the Page of Cups. We have the Nine of Cups. So with the Nine of Coins, there's an element of dignity and self-respect. And I do think, Aquarius, I think self-respect is a huge theme for us right now. I don't quite know why. Maybe that's Mars in Leo. Maybe that's Mars in Leo. But I just think that self-respect is such a it's a thing that we have to really ask ourselves, like with every choice that we have in front of us, and say, is this the most self-respecting act that we can engage in right now? Is this the choice that our most self-respecting self would take? If the answer is yes, great, we do it. If the answer is no, we don't. And we start to set incredibly firm boundaries. Now, many of you already have firm boundaries and you're already pretty good at that. Other people need to work on that. So wherever you are on that spectrum, either way, you're either going to put those boundaries that you already have set into motion or in practice, or you're going to have to set them for the first time. You're going to have to say no to people and no to things. Now, I like the page. The page is coming in as an indicator that, yes, Aquarius, you are going to be attracting things. Now, sometimes the page comes through as just a message. Sometimes it's a little manifestation. Sometimes it's a person with some type of an offer. But either way, this is kind of how I'm interpreting a lot of the pages this month. This is not necessarily something that you have to take at face value. Okay, I think this page is a product of past momentum. All right, it's the momentum that you're trying to kind of move away from to set new momentum in a new direction, but this is from the old. Now, it's a good thing that it's coming in because it does mean you're in an attractive place. So probably for the most part, many of you, your transformations include attracting new things, whether it's a new opportunity, a new place, a new person, a new idea, a new inspiration, whatever. So you are in a place of attraction, and the likelihood of you attracting is high. This may come in and it seems to fall flat. And your most self-respecting self looks at this page of cups and you're like, that's not really, I'm like, it's good and it's nice and it's sweet and I'm glad that it came in and it kind of makes me happy, but there's something about it that tells me that like, this isn't it. So your most self-respecting self has to take a look at this page and say, this is remnants from my past, it's remnants from where I used to be, and that's okay. And I don't have to say yes to this. This might be difficult to say no to because I don't see that you necessarily see anything wrong with it, right? Like it's good on paper, it all makes sense. It kind of aligns, but I don't know that this really lights you up necessarily. Because right now, I really think Aquarius has to really look for the best. The wish is coming true card, 9 of Cups. And maybe this is one of the good things about the devil is you won't settle. And something about this page tells me that there's an opportunity for you to just settle right here. Put my hands the wrong direction. It's like, here's where you want to be up here, but the page is kind of down here, and you're like, well, it's kind of close enough. Maybe I should just take it. It's right in front of me. I should maybe just take it. Why not? Why shouldn't I? And I think it's your highest self that says you don't want to get stuck. Because this might represent a level that you are comfortable with, but this is exactly the level that you're trying to break free from. So this level, you don't want to continue to repeat. So this person is going to represent the level that you're familiar with already, which is probably why it's tempting. It's probably why you're like, yeah, maybe I should, because it's what you already understand, it's what you already know. But you've been working so hard on trying to push yourself, on trying to transcend, on trying to go beyond. And you've already worked so hard in trying to figure out, like, where is my sticking point here? Where is the attachment? Where is the anchor? And here it comes right here. And it's all disguised in like this nice little sweet package, all pretty, and it sounds good. And I think that the fact that you're questioning it is everything you need to know. The fact that you are not like absolutely 100% heck yes about it tells me it's an absolute heck no. Okay? Because the level that you want to be at is kind of a higher degree of fulfillment like there does seem to be some kind of a reaching, like Aquarius is reaching up, reaching for more. Now, it doesn't mean that you're completely discontent with everything that you have, right? You might have really good aspects of your life. Maybe you have a good relationship. Maybe you're good with money. Maybe you're good with your health. Maybe you're good with your friendships or whatever. Like all that's pretty good and solid. But the problem, I think, with just life and being a human being is that there's always that push to go beyond. There's always that drive for more experience or more of something, okay? That's just your soul wanting to experience more, right? That's your soul wanting to achieve its purpose here. So it's always constantly egging you on a little bit. So I don't think it's anything to fight against. We don't want to fight against that niggling feeling of like, go further, you can do more, you can do more. There's a point to that. And we'll understand that once we cross over and we're done with this incarnation, we'll understand that a lot better. But for right now, we just have to understand that we don't want to get stuck on this level. Okay, that we're trying to get to that next level. So that's what we're going, what's going on. So as we enter Cancer season, okay, I pulled out four of these came out. I was just only going to do, I'll take it just because they all came out. Maybe Aquarius needs to hear all of it. Okay. So as we enter Cancer season, kind of comes in with a bit of a bang, I would say, because this is obviously clearing out Gemini season, and then the sun comes into Cancer. Now we want to keep in mind that when the sun comes into Cancer, it's going to immediately come into this conjunction with Jupiter, okay? It's going to expand a lot of the Cancerian energy. Now your Cancer lies in the 6th house, right? It's 6 houses away from you. So it's kind of a tough house. That's a tough angle. It's not always the most, the 6th house it's a tough house, right? It's a house where we tend to kind of get buried under a lot of stuff. We have a lot to do. We're very busy. There's a lot of dynamics. There's a lot of kind of difficult relationship stuff that comes through here. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be terrible. I don't think your Cancer season is going to be terrible, but I think it's going to have high contrast. All right? But the high contrast is important because it's almost as though the past is trying to make itself known that it's not just going to go away quietly. Okay, and that as here you are trying to transform, and I think this transformation is going to be beautiful, but you are going to have to, like I say, set those really firm boundaries and stop allowing things. So Cancer season starts off with, I think, a lot of sense of possibility with that King of Wands. And Aquarius, I think you're going to be in that King of Wands position, and you are going to be looking toward the future. You're going to be strategizing. You're going to be building. You're going to be looking forward to the way things are going to turn out, right? You're looking forward to the manifestations, all that. And then we have these cards, 5 of Wands and the 5 of Swords. So this is the contrast. And it is like the past coming back up. It's like people realizing that they don't have the same access to Aquarius anymore. They don't have the same ability to be a part of what you have going on, or they don't like the direction you're taking your life or something like that. And maybe they lash out, maybe they throw a tantrum, maybe they get really emotional, maybe they get triggered, because our actions will almost always impact other people. As much as you want to keep this quiet, and I think you keep it quiet for a while, but the more and more you apply it and the more time goes on, the more people start to pick up on it, and they're like, oh, Aquarius isn't doing that anymore, or they're not showing up for us in that way anymore, or oh, they're not giving me that anymore. And they start to realize that their source, I guess, is starting to dwindle. And they're going to make it known that they're not that happy with it. Now, they might not come and confront you or come and yell at you. I'm not saying it has to be like in your face, but they may use their own tactics to try to manipulate the situation. That's the thing with the Five of Swords, is often I do see a lot of manipulation, and it's certainly a situation that no one can win. But the point of this is trying to suck you back. It's trying to suck you back into a way of being. And this is a time where I think you're going to have to be really, really strong. And that's why we start off with the Emperor. And you're going to have to be maybe a bit of a louder Emperor. And you're just simply going to have to say, nah, that's not going to fly anymore. That's not going to be acceptable anymore. I may have let you get away with that in the past. I may have allowed that in the past. I may have done that in the past. But the past has no place from this point forward on. It has no place. And I've decided I'm going to transform. I have decided I'm going to change. And yes, I am actually going to do it. I'm not just talking, I'm actually going to do it. So that's all everyone needs to know. This change is happening, and you can throw your tantrum all you want, but I'm not going to cave. And I think that King of Wands, it's going to be real steady and real sturdy, unaffected. I think one of the gifts, maybe it's a blessing, I don't know, blessing or a curse, I'm not sure, but I think it's a blessing most of the time for Aquarius, is their gift of detachment, where when it's time to detach, you can detach. And I think you have a lot of lessons about detachment. I think right now there's a lot of detachment necessary. You are going to have to detach. And that was the whole point of this up here, was to understand, like, where are my anchors, to realize where I'm being tethered so that I can fly, so that I can actually, or you, I'm saying I, but I'm speaking as though I'm an Aquarius. I'm not an Aquarius, but I'm speaking, so you can go and fly and expand in the way that you need to without restriction. And now all of a sudden, that attachment, that anchor comes, it's like, how dare you detach from me? How dare you let me go? I mean something. And they're trying to establish their significance, or it is trying to establish its significance. Because it may not be a person. It might be, like, let's say you're trying to work on a house, right? And you're trying to take control of this house, and all of a sudden there's, renovation stuff that comes up, and you're like, oh, I feel like my house is like working against me. That kind of thing. I'm trying to build something beautiful, and it's like, oh, now all of a sudden I have to work on the plumbing, or now I have to work on the electrical. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's like a headache, right? Whatever this is, like a headache, and it's trying to sink you back, but you don't have to let it. Emotionally, now you can deal with it. I'm not saying to ignore it. You can deal with it, but you deal with it on a higher plane, right? You communicate more effectively with a more command in your voice. You approach things with more command, right? Because I look at that Emperor card, I just see a lot of command. You command things to behave the way you need them to behave, okay? And this situation is so petty and so small, and it can be snuffed out so quickly. It's just a matter of you not being sucked in. That's all. All they have to do is realize that you are giving it no power. Okay? Two of Coins suggests that there is a bit of a balance, and that at some point you may realize that the turnover from the old life to the new life is a little bit more complicated, that it's not a straight line, and that you need to remember that your past does have momentum still, and that doesn't just stop. Sometimes it takes weeks, months, years for some things to fully come to a halt. Okay, but you can have two things running at the same time. You can have the old running, and you can have the new running, but sometimes there's a little bleed over. That's all this is just a little bleed over. So if you don't want to completely abandon the new path that you are working so hard to establish, you're going to have to be highly, highly conscious and aware that this is not a place to give your energy to. Now, again, you can deal with it, but you don't let it manipulate you. All right, this is trying to suck you in, and you just simply don't have to be sucked in. You take a step back, you detach, you breathe, you ground, you deal with the issue, and you move on. And realize that maybe sometimes this will creep in, this will creep up. It probably will do so again in the future, and that's fine. And you're just going to have to balance everything out a little bit, but it does not mean to stop working on this beautiful future that you started at the beginning of the month. Okay? All right, Aquarius. So we're going to have a little bit of a longer comprehensive. So if you want to join me, you are more than welcome. We're going to pull out a bunch of clarifiers here for all these cards. We are going to talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about all of them. So if you want to join, the link for the comprehensive is in the description box and the comment thread down below. So let's go ahead and get started here with the Hermit. So what is it that Aquarius needs to know about this Hermit card? A lot of meditation, that's for sure. Oh, Wheel of Fortune, Three of Coins. These three came out for the Emperor. Seven of Swords, Six of Cups, and another Devil card. So now for the actual Devil. Oh, an Emperor and a Devil. I like their connection there. They're like a little crisscross going on. Two of Swords and an Empress. The Moon, Page, the Seven of Cups. Another Hermit. Five of Cups and an Eight of Wands. Five of Wands. King of Cups and Justice. We have the Lovers. Page of Wands. Another Two of Coins. Four of Wands. Nine of Coins. Queen of Cups. Magician, Two of Cups. Two of Wands. The Fool. Queen of Coins and the Strength card. Sorry, I'm hearing noises outside. All right, Aquarius, so this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. Thank you all so much. You guys know I love and adore you. Have an amazing June, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.